The sass.
You know what the secrets are.
My heart hurts. I don't want to do it anymore. Loving it so far. I don't like you.
I literally feel like death. I just like didn't care.
Idiot. I am scared to be happy in this book. Hello my sweet friends, welcome back. Today is Thursday and I'm just kind of in the mood to start a new reading vlog. There's no like theme to this or like reason for this. I just kind of wanted to talk about some books with you guys and just kind of share what I'm reading at the moment because I'm not really reading for any videos in particular. So I was like, well, why not just do a bit of a reading vlog and we'll just see what we end up realistically reading over the next few days without any sort of like challenge or anything like that. I love watching these like what I realistically read in a week videos, so I thought I would just film another one because it gives me an excuse to talk to you guys about books. I definitely don't have a set TBR for this video. I'm in one of those moods where I have just been starting new books like every day and not finishing like any of them. So I think I'm currently reading like maybe like 4 books. What am I reading right now? I started Forget Me Not by Julie Soto like a week or 2 ago and I just haven't picked it back up. I read like 30 pages. I definitely think I will pick it up at some point because I didn't put it down for any reason. Like I didn't not like it, I just wasn't really feeling it, so I put it down for now and I'll pick that up at some other point. I also started Slow Days Fast Company by Eve Babbitt and I'm enjoying that, but it's like a collection of essays almost, so I'm kind of just like reading a couple of those each day and slowly making my way through that. I'm also almost halfway through Foxglove by Adeline Grace. I've been kind of listening to that as an audiobook on and off, kind of switching between the audiobook and the physical book, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not like obsessed with it, but it's good and I'm sure I'll pick it up periodically throughout this vlog. But the main book that I'm physically reading right now is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, and I started this last night. I think I got up to maybe like page 70 last night and now it is the next day. It's like 5 p.m. I haven't done much reading today, just kind of a little bit here and there, but I'm up to page 132, chapter 13, and this book is I think almost 500 pages, so we still have a long way to go, but I am loving it so far. I rated Renegades, the first book in this series, 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I don't even know why I loved it so much. It was just so fun to me, so easy to read. I loved the characters. I loved the like setup and the concept, I guess. And I finally picked up the second book and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember why I love this series so much. Like I have just flown through the first 130 pages of this over the past like 24 hours and I'm just having so much fun. I love this world. If you don't know what this book is about or like what this series is about, obviously I won't tell you what is going on here because I'm in the second book, but I'll tell you about the first book. So it's set in kind of like a dystopian, I think it's technically sci-fi, but in this world some people have powers, some people don't. The people who don't have powers are just called civilians, and then the people who do have powers are called prodigies. And if you're a prodigy, you can try out to be in the Renegades, which is kind of like the equivalent to like the government, the army, the police force, that sort of thing in this world. So they're the people that look after society, make sure everything's kind of running how it's supposed to run. They kind of make all the big decisions and kind of enforce all the laws and all of that sort of stuff in this world. However, there are some people who are prodigies, so they have powers, but they don't want to be part of the Renegades for various reasons, and so they kind of have started their own rebel gangs. So there's a lot of gangs, multiple gangs in this world, and one of the gangs is called the Anarchists. And in this book, we are following 2 POVs. One of the POVs is a boy who is part of the Renegades, and then we're also following a girl called Nova, and she is part of the Anarchists, which is like a gang, and she has decided that she wants to infiltrate the Renegades. So she kind of has a bit of a secret identity going, and it's just a lot of fun. Obviously I don't want to say much more than that because I think it's just like so much more fun if you figure it out for yourself, but I feel like this book is like the perfect combination of like fast-paced like battle scenes and like crazy things going on, and then there'll be other scenes where you're just like learning more about how the Renegades work and like the hierarchies and the politics within the Renegades and in the world, and I find it all really, really interesting. I also love how every character has different powers, and I love seeing how they kind of interact and how they utilize their powers in different situations. And despite it being sci-fi, it is literally so easy to understand and keep up with. And at the beginning of both of the first 2 books, and I'm assuming the 3rd book as well, they actually have a list of all of the main characters and their powers. So if you ever get confused about who is who or what gang they're a part of or whose side they're on and what their power is, you can just like flick back to the start and have a little look, which I think is so helpful, and I feel like more books need to do this. I've read a few books that do it, but I just think it's such a great little thing to have. But anyway, I'm gonna sit here and read a little bit more, finish my work for the day, so I'm just gonna sit and read until Liam gets home from work, and then I'll probably make some dinner and stuff. This is like my peaceful time, my me time. Guys, we have an update. I am now like just over halfway, or pretty much exactly halfway, honestly, through this book, and it's so good. It's literally so good. Like, you're actually kidding me. I can't believe how good it is. After rating the first one 5 stars, I was like, is this just gonna be a bit of an anomaly? Like, maybe the first one was really good, but the rest of them just aren't gonna hit the same. It's hitting the same. It is hitting the same. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard that many people like rave about this series, so I don't know if it's literally just me, but I'm just so obsessed with it. It feels like a movie in my head. Like, every scene is so clear to me in my brain. Like, I can really just see every single thing happening. It kind of reminds me of Sky High. If you guys have seen Sky High, like the movie with the superheroes and they go to like superhero school, it kind of reminds me of that. It is like a little bit cheesy sometimes, and like it definitely feels YA, which it is. It is YA, so like that's to be expected, but I feel like some things like feel very YA and some things are YA, but they don't really feel YA, but this like feels YA, but in a good way. Obviously, because it's the second book, I don't really want to tell you anything about the actual like plot itself, but I will say we're following 2 main characters and they're both like really keeping big secrets from each other. And why is that literally so fun? Like, why is it so fun when you're the reader and you know what the secrets are because you're in their heads, but the characters, like the main characters, don't know what each other's secrets are, and they're both holding secrets from each other and they feel guilty about it, but like they don't know that the other person has a secret like just as big. And it's so good. No, I love it. And even all the side characters and the political stuff, like I find it so fascinating, and like the kind of gang situation and like the good guys versus the bad guys. I know the good guy's really good, I know the bad guy's really bad. Like, it's just, it's so fun. I feel like it's like a way lighter hearted and like YA version of Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I don't know if that's a terrible way to describe it because it's not really that similar, but it has those aspects of like good and evil and like superheroes and superpowers and like the idea of using your power for good and evil and like where, like what are the ethics in that. But this one does it in a very lighthearted way. I feel like Vicious does it in a much more like serious kind of way and makes you like think about it a lot more. This one's more of like a chill kind of version of that, but I still find it so fascinating. I also just love Max. I think Max is such an underrated character, and I'm very intrigued to see how his storyline progresses because I just like don't know where it's gonna go. I feel like he has a lot of potential. I also got the 3rd book to this series in the mail like 2 days ago, so I'm very excited that I can like go straight into it if I want to. I probably won't. I might take a bit of a break, but I'm also so sad that like I'm just gonna be done with it because it's just a trilogy, and like I could read 10 books like this. I don't know. It also reminds me a little bit of Shatter Me, just with like the government and like political stuff. I don't know, I just really like it. I really like it, but I'm gonna just try and read a little bit more before I get too tired. I've been falling asleep so early recently. I've just been really tired, which is like, I guess, good in some ways, but not good for my reading because I just haven't been getting a lot of reading done at night, and that's usually when I do like a lot of my reading because I just sit and like binge books until I can't keep my eyes open any longer. And because I've been falling asleep so early, I read like 10 pages and then I'm out like a light. It's not good for my TBR. Anyway, I'm at page 250, I think, 253. So I have like just over 200 pages left. I don't know how much I'll get through tonight, but I'll probably update you guys in the morning. It's now the next day. I've kind of just been reading little bits of this all day. I'm now up to page 410, which means I have like 65 pages left, so I'm almost done. I'm loving it. I think it's so good. I'm really intrigued to see what happens at the end of this because things are really like, they're happening. Things are happening. Obviously, that makes sense, but I just like, I don't know how it's gonna end. Obviously, there's one more book in the series after this, so I'm assuming it'll end on some sort of like cliffhanger or unfinished situation. Oh, I just love this series so much. It's one of those books where I pick it up, I feel like I've read 20 pages, but I've actually read like 60. Like, it's so good. So I'm gonna go finish off the last little bit of this. Hi everyone, how are we all doing today? Thank you. Winston's here. We're just hanging out. He's so cute. Just hanging out. Cutest little guy in the world. I'm on to the last page. gosh. It didn't, wow. I'm kind of sad that's over. I'm excited that I still have another book, but like, these books could be so much longer and I would still be so obsessed with them. I don't know, I just think they're so fun. I like how that one ended. I feel like it was enough of a conclusion to like satisfy me. Like it wasn't so much of a cliffhanger that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to start the third book right now. But it is like, okay, I do want to start it soon because I need to know how this all ends. I think for my unofficial rating, because I like to think about it a little bit longer, but right now it's definitely sitting in the 4-star realm somewhere. Maybe like a 4.5, honestly. I don't think it quite hit 5 stars for me, but like maybe 4.5, 4.25. Like it was really good. I really love this series. So another book off my TBR, my monthly TBR and my physical TBR. So that's great. Now that I finished Arch Enemies, I can start my next read, which is so exciting. Like I'm kind of nervous to start it because I just have such high expectations. But guys, we are gonna start A Curse for True Love. I'm not gonna lie, I feel so undeserving to have this in my hands right now. I did get sent an early copy from the publisher. I don't know how, I really don't. I genuinely wish I could like photocopy this and send it to every single one of you who want it. By the time this video comes out, I'm assuming it's very close to release date or after release date, but right now when I'm filming it, there's still a few more days before it comes out. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to read this because I want such a specific ending and I genuinely don't know if I'm gonna get it. I'm literally scared to read it, but I'm also like, I cannot wait, but I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna start this and let's pray for a happy ending. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate the front cover of this book? Like it is truly beautiful. I'm gonna start this, guys. I'm so excited to jump back into this world. I'm just so nervous. This is definitely a 5-star prediction from me. We will see if it lives up to The Ballad of Never After, because that was an easy 5 stars for me. I've literally only read the first 2 chapters and I think it's like 20 pages, like not much at all. But I just wanted to give you my initial thoughts. Obviously, I can't really say anything about what's actually happening because this book picks up literally right where the second book ended, which is great because it feels like you just jumped straight back into the world. You don't feel like you've missed anything. I don't feel like it's jumped ahead at all. But if you haven't read this series, there is like a bit of a cliffhanger, a bit of like a situation that occurs at the end of the second book that is quite big. So obviously I don't want to talk about what's happening now because it just directly continues from there. But I will say it feels so good to be back in this world. We are in Evangeline's POV and already the writing and the world it feels so magical. That is like the one thing about these books that feels so unique to me is that they just feel so magical. I can see every bit of this world in my head, like the way that Stephanie Garber just describes things is so perfect. I'll put like Pinterest photos on the screen of like the vibes that these books give you if you kind of want an idea, but it just feels so majestic and light and I don't even know, just beautiful. And even down to small details, like we were just given a description of what Evangeline is wearing and I could see the outfit so perfectly in my head because it was just described perfectly. But yeah, that's all I kind of have to say right now. It feels good to be back in this world. It feels so magical. I'm so nervous, but it feels good to be back. It's now the next day. I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty awful today. I don't really know what's going on. I just feel like I've been hit by a truck, so that's awesome. But I am now 100 pages into this book, and guys, I'm obsessed. I'm loving it. I feel like it is so good. It is satisfying every like hope that I had for this book. It is just, the writing is so beautiful. It's so atmospheric. It feels like
it's even better than the last two in terms of like how it's written, and I'm just like eating up every word of it. Like, it's one of those books where I want to read it slowly because I don't want it to end, and I'm just like enjoying every second of it. Like, I get like this with books that I really like where I just want to read them slowly. I felt like that with Divine Rivals. I felt like that with Magnolia Parks. Just like occasionally I get this feeling, and this is giving me that feeling. And even though I literally feel like death, I just feel so happy when I'm reading this book. So I'm gonna keep reading it. I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I don't even care. At this point, I'm just enjoying the ride. I will say, so far in this book, we have had 3 POVs. I can't remember if we had 3 in the last one, but I'm smiling like a little kid. Like, why am I feeling so giddy over this? I'm really trying to think about what I can say without spoiling anything, because I really don't want to spoil like a single thing. So I think I might just leave it at that. It's always so scary going into a book that you have such high expectations for, but right now, currently, this book is 100% living up to the expectations that I've had. Like, yes, there are things that I am hoping will happen plot-wise, like I'm hoping certain things will happen that haven't happened yet, but even just like the writing and the atmosphere and the world and the characters, like it just feels so good to be back. Like, I'm just satisfied even with that. You know what I mean? Guys, I literally feel like I could fall asleep right now. I'm exhausted and I've done literally nothing. I just finished drinking a cup of coffee and I feel like I could pass out. Awesome. Guys, I'm literally... If I had more energy, my reactions would be better. Because on the inside, I'm screaming. I'm obsessed. This is where I have been planted pretty much all day. I don't really know what happened, but like around lunchtime, I just felt like I got hit by a truck. But on the bright side, I am wearing my Christmas pajamas. It is October. It is arguably too early to be wearing these, but I simply do not care because they've brought me a little bit of joy today whilst I have been feeling not great. So we'll take what we can get. A win is a win, you know what I'm saying? I have a couple updates for you because I haven't really done much today except for read and like watch Netflix and like watch YouTube videos and stuff, which has been really nice, but obviously not great when you're not feeling great, you know? Anyway, it's a Sunday, so I don't feel that bad about it. I've obviously been continuing to read A Curse for True Love, and it's still so good. I'm a little over halfway now. I'm at page 220, I think. Yeah, 220, and I think this one is like a little under 400 pages, like 380, but absolutely loving this. I do feel like the second book had a lot more going on the whole way through. This one does feel, or it has felt, a bit slow during the first half, but I think I'm at the point where things are really starting to pick up. I haven't been mad at that because I'm already so obsessed with the world and the characters and stuff, and so it just feels fun to be back in this world and back in this story. So I don't mind too much that it has been a bit of a slower paced story. However, I do really hope that it picks up because I feel like there's a lot that has to happen in this last half of this book, or at least I hope there's a lot that's going to happen. I'm also really interested to know about certain characters because I feel like there were a lot of characters that had semi-significant roles in the first and second book, and we haven't seen them in this third book. And I'm like, are they just not gonna show up? Like, are we just like not gonna get a conclusion to those characters, almost like subplots in their little storylines? Because I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I'll be a bit confused if we don't see them, but I haven't seen a lot of characters that I thought I was gonna see, which I don't know, I just find that interesting. I'm not necessarily super like upset about it. I'm just more like, oh, I hope we get like a conclusion for that, because otherwise I'm just gonna feel like it's a bit incomplete, you know? And at this point it kind of just feels like the author forgot they existed, which is really interesting. I just feel like surely they've got to show up at some point, but we'll see. And I think my only other like critique about this book is that there's a lot of like one specific character in this book, but I'm hoping that, and I do like that character and I'm glad they've had a lot of like screen time, for lack of a better term, but I'm also hoping that another character gets a lot more screen time, page time, I guess, in the second half of this book, because It's my favorite when those two characters have scenes together, and there weren't that many in the first half of the book, so I'm hoping that kind of picks up in the second half. Obviously, I'm trying to explain this in a way where I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm sure some of you can kind of get what I'm saying. Definitely still very much enjoying this, and I feel like if this is anything like the first two books, it's gonna have a crazy ending, I'm sure, and things are probably gonna really pick up in this last like 200 pages. But I also have managed to do a lot of reading of Foxglove today, honestly mostly because I wanted to really space out this book and not like finish it too quickly, because I'm just like enjoying it so much that I don't want to finish it so fast. So I've been kind of flicking back in between both of these books today, and I've made a really decent dent in this one too. I think I only have about 100 pages left. I just got to part 3. This is Foxglove, which is the sequel to Belladonna. I really enjoyed Belladonna. In saying that, I think I rated it like 4.5, and now upon reflection, there's a lot that I just like, not that I don't remember, but it hasn't like stuck with me as much as I thought it was going to. Like, I haven't thought about those characters very much since finishing that book, so it's probably closer to like a 4 or a 4.25. Still great, but probably not quite a 4.5. This one is good and I'm enjoying it, but I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as the first book. I really feel like Belladonna could have been a standalone if it had a slightly different ending. It just felt very much like its own story, and this book, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a little bit like the author was kind of like, oh, I can come up with something else. I can keep this story going. And I am enjoying it, and I do think the storyline of this book is actually quite interesting and a very like just interesting concept. Like, I don't know how the author was able to like think of this, and they've definitely shaken up the romance plot in this one a lot, which I really enjoy, because the first one felt quite conclusive, but then we went into this one and the author really shook things up, which was good because I was wondering how they were going to do that when it felt quite established in the first book. So I have been enjoying this. I'm not obsessed. It's probably sitting in the 3-star realm somewhere, I don't know exactly, and I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen, because this one had a bit of like a murder mystery plot line, as did the first one, which the first one was wrapped up in the first book, and now there's like a new mystery plot line in the second book, and I'm assuming there probably will be in the third book too, because this is going to be a trilogy. So I like that aspect about these books, but I'm intrigued to see like, you know, the answers from that, and also just, yeah, the romance situation is very interesting to me. But yeah.
I have a reading update for you guys. I finished Foxglove. Yesterday I had a really busy day, but I was doing a lot of driving, so I ended up finishing this book like as an audiobook, and I really don't know like my final thoughts on this, because here's the thing, I think the actual plot was really good. When I reflect on it, I was like, wow, this is so smart. I can't believe like the author created this story in her brain. Like, I actually found it very like fascinating, and I'm really impressed with how the author kind of just directed this plot line and continued this series, I guess, because like I've said a million times, Belladonna almost felt like it could have been a standalone to me, so I was really intrigued to see how she was going to continue this into a trilogy, but I ended up very satisfied with how the story continued. And I will say, once you hit part 2 and specifically part 3, like this last little bit of the book, it really takes off, and I feel like it just like picks up. There's so much happening. You get all of like the reveals to the secrets, and I loved the way this ended, and I am so intrigued to start the third book, but I do feel like the start was very slow. I wasn't like super obsessed, and I also don't know why, but I just didn't really feel connected to the characters in this book. So even though the plot was really good and I can like recognize objectively that it was just like written well, I just like didn't care that much, which it makes me kind of sad, because I'm just like, oh, I wish I loved this more than I did. But obviously I just have to kind of tell you my thoughts and my feelings and my experience, and I think overall it was good, but it wasn't like my favorite. So I think I'm either gonna give it like 3.75 or 4 stars. Like, still great rating, honestly. Probably 3.75. But yeah, I'm already really excited for the third one, and just to like see how the trilogy concludes. And I feel like we got a lot more from another character in this book that I really enjoyed, and I want to see their story and like their plot line in the third book. Overall, a good read, really enjoyed, and very excited to continue that trilogy. I'm assuming next year when the third book comes out. So now that I'm finished with Foxglove, it means I can direct all my attention to A Curse for True Love, and I'm really excited to like really sit down and just like binge this today. Like I said, I've been trying to like really read this slowly because I'm loving it so much that I just like don't want it to be over. I don't want the series to be over. I don't want to say goodbye to these characters, but I also do want to obviously find out what's going to happen. And like, I genuinely don't know if it's going to be a happy ending or not. And I'm so scared because I think somewhere Stephanie Garber was like, I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising a happy ending. I'm not promising that certain characters are going to end up together. And I'm just like, are you saying that because you're not going to give us a happy ending, or are you just trying to like trick us? You don't want us to expect anything, you know? I don't know. I'm so scared. I think I still have like over 150 pages. I'm so scared, but so excited to finish this book. I forgot about this. No. Oh, idiot. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so stressed. And I'm not, like, I still have over 100 pages to go. Guys, one of my favorite characters just popped up in this book for the first time, and I'm so happy they're back because I was really starting to think they weren't going to appear in this book, but they have. I'm so excited. Why do they feel like my friends? They're not even real. I love this book so much. I really do. I feel like I'm escaping into a magical land every single time I open this book, and it makes me so happy. Exactly 100 pages to go. Oh my gosh, I just don't want this book to end. I don't. One of my favorite characters is one of the side characters because she's so funny and like so savage, but in like the best way. And I feel like her with another character is the perfect like golden retriever black cat duo, and I'm obsessed with them. One thing about Evangeline is she is delulu. Absolutely delusional, but I kind of respect it. I do. The sass on this side character is just perfect. It's like my inner monologue while I'm reading. She like actually says what I'm thinking, and it's quite entertaining. Oh no, that's not good. Oh no. Oh. One of the characters just turned to one of the other ones and was like, are you an idiot? Things are not looking good. Surely not. Wow. Stephanie Garber loves to build up your hope and then just like cut it off. And I get sucked in every time. Every time she's writing this beautiful paragraph and then at the end she's like, and you're just like, oh, my heart just broke a little. And no matter how many times she does it, I get tricked every time. I keep thinking there'll be something happy, and then, no. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh. My heart hurts. I don't want to do it anymore. But equally, I need to know what is going to happen. Uh-oh. Oh no. No, 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 no. Surely not. What? I need to reread for a sec. I'm scared. I am scared to be happy in this book because it never lasts long. Every time I get a little bit excited or like happy, I'm like, wait, stop. You're gonna get your heart broken again, please. I don't trust you, Stephanie Garber. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I don't have a good feeling about this. Oh, I knew it was too good to be true. No, go away, go away, go away. No, don't, idiot. Ah, don't you dare. Get away. Let me at him. Let me at him. I'm going through every emotion possible at the moment. Oh my gosh, shut up. I don't like you. No one likes you. What the heck? Oh my gosh. You're crazy. You're actually crazy. Yeah, you tell him. Oh, why can't things just be simple and happy? Things are just never simple and happy. Oh no, no, no. Wow. Wow. That is kind of crazy, and I kind of love it. Oh my gosh. Epilogue. Five freaking stars. 5 freaking stars. I can't believe it's over. What? That was a great ending, I think. Wow. It's now the next day. I feel like I've had time to process my emotions because we went through a lot yesterday, finishing A Curse for True Love. Let's quickly recap. Starting off, we read Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Renegade series. Absolutely loved this, 4.5 stars. I had so much fun and I can't wait to finish the series, but I'm also just gonna be so sad when it's over because these books are just, they're just so fun. Then I finished Foxglove, which was good, but not like amazing. Still really enjoyed it and still would recommend it. It does seem like these books are kind of like hit and miss. Some people like them, some people don't. So maybe try out Belladonna, see if it's for you, but if it's not, fair enough. I think I do enjoy these books, but I don't think they're like my favorite ever. You know, like not a top favorite, but still an enjoyable time. And I think my final rating is probably like 3.75. And then finally we have the star of the show, A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, the third and final installment of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. And honestly, this fulfilled every expectation I had. It is an easy 5 stars for me. I just absolutely loved it. I am really interested to hear everyone else's thoughts when they finish this book because as of the point when I'm filming this, I haven't read a single review. I don't know what people are thinking of this, and I do love being able to really form my own opinion without having anyone else's reviews kind of like looming over me or like influencing what I have to say. It's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people are going to have really high expectations for this book, and I'm intrigued to see if everyone thinks that it lives up to those expectations or if it doesn't. I feel like I could see some people saying they wish there was more romance in this book because whilst there was like a decent amount of romance, it wasn't just like a romance book. Like there was a lot of actual plot happening, and I can't say like why without ruining like plot points and spoilers and things, but I can see why it wasn't just like full romance, you know what I mean? Like it took a while for us to get there, but in my opinion that made it really worth it. I was not bored. I literally ate up every single word of this. Like I didn't want to skip a word. I didn't want to skim read. I was just like absorbing every piece of this that I could, which is definitely how I know something feels like 5 stars for me. And also you could see the reactions I was having to this book. Like that is also how you can tell that that was a 5-star read for me, because I was like physically feeling so many emotions whilst I was reading this. But absolutely a 5-star read for me. I don't know which one's my favorite in the series. It's either Ballad or it's this. Ballad really just like blew me away, and obviously I went into this with such high expectations, whereas Ballad I like didn't really go into that with such high expectations, so I can't tell which one. I don't know. I think Ballad was really phenomenal, so I don't know if this has surpassed that, but both of those are easily 5-star reads for me. When I do a reread I'll have to see which one I like more, but I absolutely adored this. Can't wait to see what other people think of it. If you've read it by the time this video goes up, let me know your thoughts because I would love to know. But so good. But that's our little recap done. I hope you guys enjoyed just kind of spending the week with me and reading along with me while I just kind of picked up random books and read along with you guys, hung out with you guys. I always love doing these, and I've actually already started filming a new reading vlog, so that should be coming your way in about a week. But I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.